And expounding on this, telling us about all of this, is the one, the only beautiful Mamacita. This morning she was looking fine. Judy Mzungu Hakula, welcome to the show.
Asante.
Say that enough times since you walked into the studio.
Yes. And I'm blushing.
That is a good way to start your Monday morning. I think it is.
Asante,
I think it is.
thank
Karibu
you.
sana.
Asante.
You had a great weekend?
Yes, it was.
Why is it so important?
I think first we need to start off by saying that your spiritual, your personal, and your professional life.
Okay.
So as you think about relationships, we will now focus on your personal relationships and your professional relationships.
Yes.
I know as Switch TV, we have done a lot in terms of empowering people when it comes to our personal relationships and the relationships out there. But it's important for us to understand that whatever happens to you in your personal life affects your professional life.
That is true.
So it's important for us now to have a discussion that says, how then do we handle ourselves professionally so that based on who we are, it's possible for us, one, to find acceptance in the workplace and to be able to go up the career ladder, and also to be able to work with other people within the teams that we find ourselves in at the workplace.
We need this conversation.
Thank you.
And most of the times when we talk about relationships, we focus on one thing, and that is true.
Yes.
But there's so much more to it. And I think what best way to start our Monday morning then? At the workplace. Let's just start there. Yeah.
Yeah, because it's an important conversation to have. Actually, you spend the office 8 to 5. For those people who work 8 to 5, they spend more time in the office than they do at home.
Yes.
Than they even do on the dates. As an example.
That is true.
So that is important. That tells you how important it is for us to focus, to think for a moment how our personal lives come to affect our 8 to 5. Make sure that we're able to make the most of 8 to 5 so our life actually becomes fruitful and fulfilling.
Okay. Okay. So there's a relationship there that we've seen it happen. Some at the office or constantly actual. We know. Oh,
yes.
Cranky.
Yes.
I think they gossip that around the office, and that happens. So some of your personal life trickles in affects your professional life.
And it's important for an organization to be through trauma, we do counseling. But it has to be beyond to saying how then equip. So not just with the trauma of this break, whatever is happening in your life, to just make sure that you work, but then we equip the whole team as an example we know to work with another, so that organization, company, teams get the best out of people.
This is even before the hard comes. So I joined an organization to manage the situation, how to make the best out of the space I am, especially.
Yes, because when I like it or not, all of us, you here at as an example, have carried your past age with you. That affect even how you will be able to deal with one another within the office set. It doesn't help even with the amount of that's out right now. We seem to have a lot of knowledge about temperatures, which also tends to identify people. So you'll find accounts quarrel create people being to handle activities, and you get what I'm saying, Now to come a conversation in organizations that's beyond what we know as temperament is concerned. How do we help one another so that we can get the best out of each other? As we get the best out of each other, organizations, companies, see can get the best out of the people that they have employed.
That is true. I will do it voluntarily. I'll just I want to in the morning because I am ready for it.
Exactly. A conversation we need to have. And the conversation now begins at individual level, as you would demand.
Okay.
It begins with every person thinking about themselves and thinking, what do I bring to the table as far as relationships are concerned? First and foremost, have the ability to understand other people. Do I have the ability to understand myself?
Yes.
So when I understand myself, when I have with the ability to understand other people. When I have the ability to understand other people, it's easier for me to connect with them.
Okay.
Because of the power of connection, you can get anything out of anyone. Understand? Because when you look at people who are really able to make things happen, the time it's about your ability to have to work with people like you, your peers, and the people for you.
That is so.
Yeah, and that can only happen if first and foremost you do have an understanding about who you are. When you have an understanding about who you are, then you're able to also now carry understanding, having your journey to also understand the people who work at you, your peers, and the people above you. Now, people need to have even think about workplace experiences, because the organization of the challenges that happen here are about the bosses doing this, bosses doing that, the bosses doing the other. You understand? But what about if it, for example, took time? Also be able to understand where the bosses are coming from, because they are human.
True, and they're complaining about their bosses as well.
Exactly. So the trickle effect on organizations, because everyone doesn't seem to understand. We have issues, we're not dealing with them, and that's what it's affecting the bottom.
We keep looking at it. Probably, I don't want to give yourself. You're probably thinking about it to me.
Yes.
Why it's working is because bosses like my bosses like.
Yes.
But we're not thinking about him or her and what they have to deal with them to be able, or how I can help make sure that this does not happen.
Yeah. Or maybe also understand their temperament and also be able to temperament.
Okay. This is work I'm supposed to do me.
Yes. Start with you. So once you deal with it yourself, it becomes easier to navigate people who are different from you within the workplace.
People who can and be like,
yes, and we do a lot. That's why I'm telling you, like, the typical one is people and accountants. Because I see yourself, so people and accountants never quite seem to agree. Why? Ideally, because of the job that you do, we all have different temperaments. But it's actually possible to find an accountant who is able to cope with the people. Just that he has been able to go and above his environmental limitations.
Okay. See that?
That's a conversation that we need to have as individuals, so that we to an organization. When you go to the workplace, look at the scope that you support, especially the career being about what you know, it becomes attitude. Able to work with people and get out of that. Well, yes, you have actually not been taking jobs or lost of just of the relationship act. Only be dealt, unfortunately, by healing back there.
You always back
because that is the cause. Everything just it affects relationships. Fortunately, professional. That have you ever seen everything hell lose at your partner?
Yes.
It's lose at the level.
Every
it's the same.
They have but like is this guy slowly?
It's emotions over at aspect. Fortunately, affect your.
That is nothing, or being able to control that, able to separate. I will do. Get out of. Is that how?
What they say?
It's not. So, I think I've seen enough time. It's like I that they get, but it's times it calls. I used to separate work with personal your work with. Are you having at the office? You think that nobody or too hard. We are answering all questions at those, especially at the office time. one that is fine to shield DKE on Facebook. We'll be right back. Break. To Full Circle with Mukali, a very good morning to you. We still have Judy Mzungu Hakula of the Realignment Program in studio, and we are talking about the importance of harnessing those relationships that we have. We talked about working, the workspace that we are at, and you starting with yourself, being able to understand that I am this kind of person, this is how I react to certain things, and I have in that space, then you're able to understand other people and the things they come to the workplace with. But then away from that, Judy, when I have worked on myself, and I'm assuming not everybody else is doing that, so there will also be something that probably the organization needs to do or have in terms of creating or empowering, impacting these skills on their employees.
That's true. I think one of be able to help their people to heal, so that they, because whether you like it or not, the person that you employ comes with their baggage from their past. For you to get the best out of them, it's important for you to help them to heal.
Okay. It feels new. So
it does.
I'm looking at you.
No, it does. It does feel new, but it's very interesting that actually companies invest in the counseling of individuals.
Okay.
But for the most part, they're dealing with the symptom. And unless you deal with the root of the problem, you haven't eliminated the problem. Within no time, it will manifest again.
Okay. So that's just a symptom. It's just a
yes,
band-aid.
We are a very reactive society. So because we are very reactive, everyone just deals with the symptom of the problem, because everyone deals with counseling, so everyone wants to deal with counseling. But how about we take a different approach and say, organization to begin to see you as an asset within the company. So forget about putting it on paper, but actually seeing you as an asset, and then now making it our business to invest in you, so that as you go through the healing journey, what we are doing is to bring out the whole package of who you are meant to be, so that then even through the process we begin to see what are your full gifts and abilities, so that people are allowed to express themselves totally within organizations. It's amazing how many people come to the realignment program and you realize that yes, they're in organizations, sometimes well-paying organizations, but heavily underutilized. If you had an organization probably, or people or companies, whatever, at whatever level, beginning to invest in programs such as this, then what will happen is that now we are able to come back and say, this is the person, this is who you have employed, this is their full set of skills and abilities. How then, within this organization, can you use them, make use of them totally, so that they too find fulfillment. Sometimes people don't leave employment because of money. They leave because I feel underutilized. I feel like I have so much more to give, but it's not being used within this organization.
You see how some companies, Judy, they will take you to further your studies.
Yes.
They will tell you, we can see and would like to empower you in that way.
Yes.
Wanakulipia Harvard.
Thank you. Thank you.
You go study.
Yes.
And then you bring all that knowledge back home, back to the company.
Yes.
So it's in the same way.
Yes.
As you empower them in that way, how about empowering them inwardly?
Yes. You got it, Mikali. You got it. I could not have given a better example. And you know what? This is way less expensive, and the benefits are much more. Because if you invest in the soft skills, what then you are doing is that even within the organization, you're creating a beautiful environment. Once you create a beautiful environment and you have a great team with Kali, an organization is unstoppable. I
agree. You feel like a part of the family.
You feel like a part of the family. Yes. And that's what many companies strive for, but they just don't know how to get there. The answer is in building people inwardly.
And you're not just talking to employees or employers. It's, well, not just those ones.
Yes.
If you're looking to even start a business,
yes,
then this is something that you also need to
Thank
listen
you. Thank
to.
you. Yes. Because it's I remember someone put a post on social media, and they were saying, someone was talking about we need to find out where our house helps us are coming from as an example, so that we can help them.
Okay.
You understand? And it's true, because these people have wounds. You're leaving them with your children. They're inflicting the same wounds upon your children because they do not know. So it's so holistic, and it's not as expensive as people want to imagine, but it's something that we need to do for the sake of at least making sure that the environment that we are in the office is right, and the environment that we are in when we come back home is right.
Okay.
So that's a conversation that we need to take to the next level, so that what we are saying is deal with the root, and then avoid dealing with the symptom alone, and then more than that, begin to equip people so that beyond overcoming whatever challenges, how then do you navigate life moving forward, so that regardless of the situations because life is tough.
Yes, it is.
Yes. So regardless of the situations and circumstances, you have capacity within you to be able to navigate, because your insides have been built up.
You keep mentioning the soft skills.
Yes.
What do those soft skills entail for anyone who's looking and wondering, become an employer?
Okay. The soft skills are, for example, the ability to connect with people.
Yes.
Have you ever, and the way she just smiles, there's something about you, about them, that makes you feel like you can just connect with them.
Yes.
Yeah. And then secondly, the ability to motivate and inspire others. You need that within an organization, at whatever level. You need people who can who are able to inspire others. Thirdly, you need people who can also be able to connect and nurture relationships. Because an organization honestly cannot also survive without customer service growing.
That is true.
So you're looking to grow relationships. Unless the person in customer service has capacity to nurture and grow relationships, then you're doing a lot of nothing. And then fourthly, the ability to resolve conflicts, because conflicts are part of our lives. They're in organizations. If you have people who are empowered as far as conflict resolution is concerned, then you have what it takes to make that organization thrive.
You know what I'm thinking?
Yes.
How some organizations will be looking for people to employ.
Yes.
And they want you to come with those skills. So they probably running away from having to develop them, or create those skills within, because I think every organization has its own culture.
Yes.
So you need to have them understand what that culture is.
Yes.
And help them, be able to pass it on.
Yes.
Be able to live within the culture that is in, if it's a positive one.
That's true. Yeah. Now, the only problem is, even when they talk about that culture, it's very on the outside. So it's a facade.
Okay.
But if you work on it coming from the inside out, that by the same someone is coming in, you have actually checked them, checked their temperament, be able to, work with them, work on them, so that by the time they're coming, they're actually able to pour themselves wholly. You understand their full, array of gifts and abilities. You can utilize them fully without putting them in a box. Then now you're able to make a team out, because many times people are outsourcing gifts that are actually within the house.
The organization.
Yes.
But then through this, they're able to tap into that.
Yes, they're able to
make it comfortable enough for me to say, I can do this, but if given a chance, I can also do this.
Yes. And people, by the way, are not looking to be paid extra necessarily, but it's true. I remember even when I told you I was working as a receptionist, how I actually developed a lot of other skills is, if an administrator was not there, I'd go and learn how to do filing. I'd go, and people are hungering, especially young people. They are hungering for knowledge. But if you're going to come with a very strict organogram that doesn't allow them expression, that's the reason why this generation, they're called the generation?
Tuco-Z.
Z, yes. They're having a challenge staying on in jobs, not because necessarily there's something wrong with them, but we just don't have ability to allow them creative expression. And that can only come if we understand what they carry, and then we also allow them to find expression. But that will only happen if we are willing to invest and we see them as assets.
When you talked earlier about healing, when it comes from coming from a different organization and understanding why you left, what was the environment from the place that you are at,
Yes.
so that you don't bring the same baggage here.
Yes.
Is it something that you would say is happening, has happened, is growing in this country?
Honestly speaking, I haven't heard about it. The most
You are a genius.
Yeah. the most investment that I have had is when people are investing in counseling.
Yes.
So if you have a problem, then we take you for counseling and then you come back. But we're still dealing with the symptom, and we haven't equipped you for how to move forward.
So this is getting into counseling.
Yeah.
And when you get in, we find out what the problem is now, where its root cause is.
Yes.
And after getting to the root cause, we need to help you now how to deal with life differently.
Yes.
And learn all the things that you knew and how you operated before.
Yes, at an individual level.
At an individual
Yes.
level.
And sometimes sometimes the challenge I find maybe many times with organizations is that they will pay for counseling per se, it's paid per session. So of course sometimes there's the limitation, there's you have a medical cover, there's all that, and then again, who wants to be associated with a shrink? So it's much easier if we bring a coach.
Okay. I see.
You get what I mean? Eh?
Yes.
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 It's much
You'll be
easier.
that guy at the
yes.
office.
Yeah.
who-
Yeah. So it's much easier if you bring a coach. It's easier for that person to take it. 2, it's more friendly because of the approach that we take. 3, we are going down into the root, and we're not only going down to the root, we are actually equipping them moving forward so that you have a wholesome individual coming to the office, giving you the best. Let me tell you, some of the testimonies that we have gotten is people who have come and said, you know what, my boss said there's something different about me.
Okay. In a good way.
In a good way.
Yeah.
They're people, because we deal with issues of integrity. The testimonies we are hearing where people are saying, you know what, before this, I used to know there was a loophole within my organization. And you know what, I took advantage of it. But after my consciousness was tweaked to understand that this thing is wrong, that there's a way I am standing in the way of my blessings. And let me tell you, those people come back to record that after that, something happened to my performance because my conscience now is clear.
Yes.
So we can move away from that tendency, Mikali, of saying that, you know what, our country, or is it these days, everyone is corrupt. No. The only thing is that we haven't been able to tweak people's consciences to understand that there's something wrong. You can do this thing better and make the best out of your life.
Before we went on the break,
Yes.
Judy, I was talking about how you're told to drop your baggage
Yes.
outside the gates
Yes.
and come in. And I think I have used that line. I probably found a way to master it, that I will not come and go on air looking like this, even if my whole weekend was like this.
Yeah.
But then you're saying it's not as easy.
It's not.
Not everybody has a switch like that. Not everybody's able to pick up like that.
You're an actress, remember?
Oh, that too. So I have a show coming up. Did I tell you? so that is not good information for you to have and to use in this way.
So it's you acting, but at some point, the plane will crash land.
Yes. Uh-huh.
So it's important for us to deal with that thing we can't.
Well, this is not personal. My name is just being thrown around, for the sake of examples. But so it's not easy. But then again, you offer something as we come to this at the end of this conversation.
Yes.
What would be your parting shot to organization, employers, employees, and individuals who would want to take this journey with you?
Okay, I guess the whole thing that I want to say is that it's important for you to understand that you cannot separate your personal life, your professional life, and your personal life, your professional life, and your spiritual
We
life.
didn't even get to the spiritual one.
We did no. It's okay.
It's okay.
Because we always do one
Yes.
way or the other. So today, yeah. So you cannot separate those. So it's important for you, once you understand that you cannot separate those 3 elements, to just try and get a balance. But the balance is not as easy as turning off a switch and turning on a switch. The thing about it is we have to go back and ask ourselves what we need to correct so that we can find and get the best out of every element of our lives.
Absolutely.
And for me, my invitation is, as far as individuals is concerned, as much as you can, invest in yourself, because don't even wait for the organization. For you to get the best out of life, for you to
Yes.
get the best out of yourself, it's important for you to invest in your personal development. And that's why we come back with a program called the Realignment Program. And then secondly, as far as organizations are concerned, it's important for us to say that it's important for us to say that companies need to invest in their people so that they can get the best out of them and equip them to be able to deal with one another and get the best out of every individual that is on the organization.
How do we get in touch with you? We are
okay.
right into the commercial.
All right. 0714722733, 0784722733, or you can find me at Safarini with Judy Mzungu Hakula on social media.
Thank you, Judy.
Thank you so much.
Always lovely having you on the show.
All right.
We're going to take a quick commercial break.